The following is the Algoma Fire and Rescue report from the meeting held March 29th of 2021. The Algoma Fire Department responded to 2 calls since our last report, which puts us at 9 runs year to date. Annual flow testing of our SCBA has been completed during the month of March. This is an annual test to make sure that all of our SCBAs are performing at optimal measure when they are needed. Department members participated in our annual ice and cold water rescue training on Saturday, March 6th. This allows us to get out all of our equipment regarding that would be involved with our ice and cold water rescue training and incidents. We did this in the Anape River and out on a private pond west of town. The training went very well. Algoma Rescue responded to 37 calls since the last report, which puts them at 103 runs per date. March was a pretty busy month for the EMS department. All EMS members completed their annual CPR refresher training, and I should say biannual because this certification lasts for 2 years for our members. And that completes this report.
Hi, I'm Chief Randy Remiker with the Algoma Police Department, here to give you the highlights for the last PPP meeting that was held on March 29th for the Police Department. For call service, we saw a decrease from last year. For the month of February, we had 104 compared to last year, we had 132. For those who like to park in the city streets, some good news. The winter parking restrictions are now over till November 1st, so once again, you can park in the city streets and you will not receive a ticket. Additionally, we'll be utilizing our speed trailer throughout the whole entire city to advise advisors when they're speeding and actually let them know what their speed is. So we're seeking input from the community. If you have a desired location or an idea where we can set that up temporarily, please let us know at the police department. You can email us at algomapolice@algomacity.org. Once again, it's algomapolice@algomacity.org. Finally, we'd like to give special thanks to Jim Rubis and the Board of Crime Stoppers who donated over $2,000 to the police department. These funds will be used to buy educational and safety materials to be used in our outreach program to the schools. And finally, as always, we hope everybody has a great week and take care and be safe.
The Algoma Public Library Board of Trustees met on March 15th, 2021. The library will be going back to our full hours beginning April 5th, so we will be open Monday through Thursday 10 to 7, Friday 10 to 6, Saturday 10 to 3. We will continue to offer curbside pickup Monday through Friday 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Our microfilm for the Algoma Record Herald for the years 1961 to 1973 has been sent in to Northern Micrographics to begin our digitization project. We look forward to getting these complete so our patrons can access them through our website. Right now we have the years 1873 to 1960 available on our website. Thank you to Virginia Johnson, who has helped us with this project. Once again, library staff have planned many programs that include many virtual programs, as well as take-home kits. Some of these programs that I will highlight some of these programs. On April 5th, we have a quick coffee kit. This kit will include fun, easy coffee recipes that you can do with just a little hot water and some instant coffee. On April 7th, we have a DIY earring kit for adults. April 7th, a Maker Wednesday kit featuring the DIY seed bombs for children and family. April 5th and April 10th, we will host a virtual teen advisory group. We will hold these meetings on Google Meet. Local teens can come and brainstorm with our young adult librarian, Braylin, for future Grab and Go Kits virtual program and summer reading program. Any teens that sign up, attend, and contribute to the discussion and the brainstorming will be able to claim an hour of volunteer sign up or of volunteer time. Sign up is required. April 14th, duct tape flower kit in honor of National Gardening Day. April 19th, we have a yarn butterfly kit for children and family. April 21st, a DIY bird feeder kit. And we continue to hold our virtual story times via Facebook on Mondays at 11 and Fridays at 10. All of these programs and more, as well as all of our other information, can be found on our website. Our next board meeting will be held on Monday, April 19th at 4 p.m.
Good morning. President Valise called a meeting, Algoma Utility Commission meeting to order March 17th at 5:30. We had one excused member. Several local businesses in old business. Several local businesses are researching the installation of EV, electric vehicle charging stations. The utility will work with these businesses and share funding and grant opportunities as they become available. At the time, the utility is not interested in placing a charging station in the city, only because we do not want to compete with these customers of ours. So that would be our reasoning for not placing one in town. It is a hot topic coming up, though. There's a lot of talk about electric vehicles on the horizon here. Under new business, there will not be an American Transmission Company capital investment request for the second quarter of 2021, which is kind of odd for the utility. The Department of Natural Resources has rules for permitting private wells of homes that are attached to the municipal water system. During the February Utility Commission meeting, several questions were brought up about the permitting process, associated fees, and well abandonment. The DNR responded to these questions with the city cannot require abandonment of a private well without cause, and permit fees can be adjusted by the city per ordinance. The general consensus of the commission was not to make any changes to what the present system we have in place right now. So we're going to keep our $50 fee, and everything will stay just as it is. The utility clerk full-time position and recruitment process was discussed. Hosh motion, second by Bennett, to advertise the position. Management will conduct the interviews and the hiring process. And that was a roll call vote. All voted yes to go ahead with that process. Manager's report. Line clearance tree trimming is complete for the year. And we did have a water main break on March 16th. It was on State Street between Mill and Division Street. And the crew, that was our third water main break for this year. The crew is going to begin flushing hydrants for the water system maintenance within the next week or two here, so you'll see those guys out on the street. Just use caution when you see the guys in yellow. It's always appreciated when people slow down. That's about all I have for my report. Next regular commission meeting will be held on Wednesday, April 21st at 5:30. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jean Marsh, Administrator at Algoma Long-Term Care. We had our monthly board meeting last Thursday, March 29th, and during our meeting we had just a few topics to discuss. The first was that we have nurses who are required to be on duty 7 days a week, of course, and we will be implementing an on-call program for some of our nurses to be available 24 hours a day at a call's notice so that they can come in for extra assistance if we need them in the nursing home. The other thing that we discussed is our network health provider contract. Nursing homes are paid by Medicare when people come into the nursing home from the hospital, and many of the insurance companies write provider agreements with the nursing homes at a certain rate for reimbursement. And the rate that was proposed this year is $88 less than it was last year. And so our board has made a decision that we will not be contracting with that insurance company for this coming year. That doesn't mean that we wouldn't accept a resident or client of that insurance company, but it does mean that we have extra hoops that we have to jump through if we do accept them because of the way that insurance companies pay nursing homes. So it's just one of those things that are kind of technical in nature. We do have residents who have the normal Medicare Part A, and we're starting to see an increased influx in residents with Medicare Part C, which is your Advantage plans. So, and that was the majority of our discussion at the meeting. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Jared Hine. I'm the city administrator, and I'll be reading the report for the city council meeting. The city council met on March 1st. Pretty short agenda. They appointed Officer Clayton Parle, one of our current police officers. They appointed him to the Algoma Fire and Rescue Department. We also passed a resolution renewing our agreement with Weiss Memorial for our cemetery services. Some rate changes there. And with that, there was also a resolution to change our fee schedule to then match the new rates associated with those services. We also awarded our contract for our 2021 utility and street reconstruction project. That'll be for 4 blocks along 6th Street for some work that's being done this year. So some road and utility improvements there. We went into the administrator's report where we covered a number of things. First, we received confirmation from the state that we received approximately $700,000 in CDBG close grant monies that we can use for redevelopment area number 2, which is the residential block between the Denny's Supermarket grocery store and Perry Park. We are going to be using $500,000 of that as our match for our application for our CDBG public facilities grant application, which could be up to $1 million. So we could potentially be looking at $1.7 million. But as it stands now, we have a minimum of $700,000. So that was really good news there. We're continuing to work with our civil engineer on that application as well to help strengthen it. So hopefully we'll be getting that $1 million as well. I also provide an update on our lighthouse lease agreement discussion. Turned into a pretty healthy discussion during the meeting. Basically, we're kind of in a holding pattern there. I just need to tie up a couple loose ends, answer a few more questions regarding that through the GSA, the General Services Administration, and the Army Corps of Engineers. There's a little bit of confusion between the parties as far as why it's a lease agreement versus just an outright transfer of ownership or a sale, and whether or not we can negotiate with them on certain aspects of it. So that'll be coming before the council, likely at its May meeting. And then finally, we also just talked about an item that would be coming up at the Finance and Personnel meeting, which I'll be covering in a later report. The Community Development Committee met on Monday, March 15th, talked about a couple of different grant applications that were received by the committee, specifically regarding the All-American City membership 2021. This is related to the Live Algoma project that the school district took the point on and received the All-America City Award. The city would be, they approved a grant application, the CDC did, for this membership in the amount of $1,250 viewed as the city's share of this membership. Really what this membership does is it helps us join a network with the All-America Cities group, and it really gives us access to more resources, including other grant opportunities for various related projects. We talked about the All-America City banners follow-up. That was also an item that was discussed at the Finance and Personnel Committee meeting this month. Basically, as a winner of the All-America City Award, we are going to be receiving a minimum of 15 All-America City banners, which will have an All-America City logo on them. They'll be placed on poles throughout the city, mostly concentrated in our downtown, but we will still be identifying which specific poles those will be on. Our local businesses will have an opportunity to sponsor those banners, so they can buy additional banners and have their business logo put on them. And we'll be working with the school district and the utility to identify where exactly we want these banners to go. And we'll get moving on that. Those will start going up this year. And then there was also a grant application from the KCEDC, which is the Kewaunee County Economic Development Corporation. That's an ongoing request every year. They request funding. Basically, they act as a county-wide economic development group to help spur community and economic development throughout the county. And the grant was approved in the amount of $5,000. Member Teal Van Lannen just expressed that she wished to be reappointed. So that'll be going before the mayor to be brought before the council for approval at its April meeting. And there was also a grant application request for funding in the concerts in the park funding. There was a long story short, the grant was approved for $2,000 to help fund that. So that will be going on this year, and hopefully, things will be back to relatively normal, so we'll be able to do that again. Now that the vaccinations for COVID are rolling out, and we can kind of get back to some semblance of normal. And again, at this meeting, I just provided an update about the CDBG funding that we received, and we will be continuing to apply for our redevelopment block. Personnel Committee, Finance Personnel Committee met on March 15th, and just discussed a couple of things. It was a pretty light agenda. The first thing on the agenda was a consideration of agreement with CGI Communications, Inc. For our 2021 All-America Community Banner Program. And we had Teal Van Lannen from the school district here to help present that item. Basically, this is the company that we'll be working with to place banners for the All-America City Award that the city and the school district received as a finalist and award winner the past year in 2020. So as a part of that award, we'll be getting a minimum of 15 banners that will be placed throughout the city, designating us as an All-America City. We'll have those banners for 3 years at no cost to the city or the school district. Businesses will have an opportunity to sponsor banners if they wish. There's a fee associated with that, but then they can have their logo put on these banners and placed. They'll be placed throughout the city. And we'll be working with the school district and the utility on identifying where exactly we want those located. A part of the discussion, we also talked about joining the National Civic League and the network that would be associated with, and I covered that a little bit in the Community Development Committee report and our membership associated with that. We also appointed Brittany Parma as an EMT basic with Algoma Fire and Rescue, so I wanted to welcome her to the fire department. And then finally, we had a consideration of a proposal from Green Bay Metro Fire Department for paramedic intercept services. So currently the city has what's known as paramedic intercept services agreement with Brown County Rescue and Door County. And essentially that they provide intercept services when we're transporting patients to hospitals, either in Sturgeon Bay, in which case we'd be working with Door County, or to Green Bay area hospitals, in which case we typically work with Brown County Rescue. However, Brown County Rescue is not always able to provide those services, so we sometimes end up working with Green Bay Metro, but we do not have an agreement with them currently. So we are looking to get one in place, structured very similarly to our other two agreements, so that will be before the council at the April meeting for consideration. And the next meeting for the Finance and Personnel Committee will be on Tuesday, April 20th, immediately following the Special Council reorganization meeting.
In the month of March, the Public Works Committee met and discussed a couple of things that everybody's probably heard 3 times already. The big topic is the road and utility construction project that will start here this spring. We're waiting for the contractor. Now that is chosen, contracts are in the middle of process of being signed. There will be a meeting, and we'll have a chart of when those times will be. I'm looking forward to getting back to everybody here of when that construction will start on 6th Street from Fremont to Jefferson Street, that 4-block section there. So continue to look for updates of when that meeting will be, the pre-conference meeting, and when we'll get started. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is actually starting March 31st today down on the south break wall, that first about 60 to 70 feet, where they'll be working to put some armor stone in there to rebuild the north side of that south wall, and then resurfacing that about 40, 50 feet, that they'll put a new surface on there to make it safe to walk on. So starting today for probably about the next week and a half, that south pier will be closed off to the public while the Corps of Engineers is working on that project. That is a U.S. Corps of Engineers project. Has nothing to do with the city, but for a little bit of assistance that we'll be giving them to move that project along. Brush pickup, curbside brush pickup will start the first Monday in May, and will continue the first and third Mondays all the way through to October, actually. You can bring your brush up to the compost facility up at 1520 Jefferson Street and drop it off anytime. But curbside pickup, please have it out by 6 a.m. Monday morning on the first and third Mondays of every month through October. So the Knights of Columbus, May 8th, has an event coming up, a recycling event, where they'll be able to take any appliance, refrigerator, stoves, light bulbs. That'll be up at 1520 Jefferson Street at the Street Shop in Algoma. You can drop that stuff off. That'll start on Saturday, May 8th at 9 a.m. and run till 1 p.m. And the next Public Works meeting will be April 13th at 8:30 a.m. Thank you.
Here are some of the highlights of the things we've been working on in the Parks and Recreation Department this past month. The community building has been open to the public for the last several weeks. The gym is open to walkers from 6 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. We also started offering family fun time in the gym on Wednesday nights. Families that are interested need to call the youth club to sign up for an hour time slot between the hours of 3 o'clock and 7 o'clock p.m. The Parks Committee would like to start our outdoor recreation programs this summer. Things like T-ball for 5 and 6-year-olds will be offered for 6 weeks in June and July, and then the summer park program will run for 6 weeks starting at the beginning of July. Stay tuned to our Facebook page for more information and information about registrations. The youth club weekend nights are still not open at this time. The committee also approved renting out the youth club in Knutson Hall for parties. The restrictions right now would be for parties to be under 50 people in attendance, with guests wearing masks, and assist with cleaning after the event. The boys and girls Little League teams will be using both fields at Peterson Park this summer, so our staff will be moving the old scoreboard that was on the west side to the east side. We are grateful for the community members and Friends of Crescent Beach for all their efforts in reaching their fundraising goal of $15,000. These funds will help our department with projects and maintenance for the boardwalk. This spring we'll be ordering new trash cans and recycling bins to replace the old wooden ones. The Friends group is also putting together an event to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the boardwalk, and more information will come from that group. With the help of Lakeshore Natural Resource Partnership, Stantec, and Friends of Crescent Beach, we will be doing another beach planting event on May 15th. We will be asking for volunteers to help with this project. We are looking for a person to help out on an as-needed basis with help mowing and trimming the Evergreen Cemetery this summer. If you are interested in helping out, please contact the Parks Department. The committee will be reviewing the survey results for the comprehensive outdoor recreation plan at our meeting on April 19th. The public is welcome to join either virtually or in person to discuss ideas and future plans for the parks in Algoma. The committee made a motion to recommend that the city have a written policy in place to allow the transfer of cemetery plots. The city will require a deed, a will, a notarized letter, or a note made on our records here at City Hall to allow the transfer between one individual to another. Our next Parks and Recreation meeting will take place on August 19th at the Algoma Youth Club at 7 o'clock p.m.